Is Ron Shoopman. I'm the president of the Southern Arizona Leadership Council. The Leadership Council is about 100 CEOs and community leaders, many of which you know. Guys like Jim Click and Robert Shelton at the University of Arizona and other community leaders, mostly business, that believe that the future of this community and in fact of our state requires that we have a healthy and robust economy in order to afford the things that we absolutely need to sustain us. As most business groups are prone to do, we look real hard at the facts before we take a position on anything. And it's worth talking about how we got here. In 2007, since that time, retail sales are off 20% in our state. Home prices are down 40%. Construction is off over 50%, and unemployment is over 9, approaching 10. We all know we're in a crisis, there is no doubt. The state now has revenues that are the same as they were in 2004, but we're not the same state we were in 2004. Since then, we've added 145,000 new students to our schools. We've put 11,600 more prisoners in our hotels. Thank you, Chuck. And we have 475,000 more people needing the services of access. And those are just to sustain what this state promised the citizens of Arizona. The state's been aggressive about making cuts. They actually have worked pretty hard. They've cut almost $2 billion, over $2 billion, and those cuts have been painful. $270 million in education cuts, $450 million in health and human services, over $100 million in corrections, and a similar amount in the universities. The second billion really came out of the human services area, where those least fortunate among us got hit the hardest with cuts to access, cuts to low-income children with kids care, and really reductions of 17,000 seriously mentally ill patients. We'll pay for the fact that we don't have this kind of support in other ways. And I think Chuck's description of what the impact is really was pretty clear to me. This is going to be a tough time for our state. If we don't pass Prop 100, another $420 million comes out of the school system. If you look at the cuts that they're already making, they're down to the bare bones level of what education can sustain. You go the next $420 million and you get into an area that we've never seen in this state in support of education. $120 million out of higher ed, another $90 million out of public safety, and another $200 million out of health and human services. Now, SALC is a business group. We understand the value of a low tax structure in attracting business and creating a healthy economy. So we don't endorse this proposition without looking at it pretty hard. And we have wholeheartedly endorsed Proposition 100. We believe that the state cannot sustain without it. If we don't pass this, there are going to be things that happen to this state that will make it impossible for us to recruit new business here. A business doesn't move to a state only for a low tax structure. That helps. But they also want a robust education system for the kids of the workers that they want to bring here. They need a workforce that's well trained. Our education system must take our children to a level where they can fill the high-tech jobs that we all want to see for the future of our state. Without Prop 100, we're going to see things that I don't think any of us imagined. In early January, we joined with a group in Phoenix called Greater Phoenix Leadership, another CEO group, and we asked a world-renowned research organization known as McKinsey & Company to dissect the state budget. And we asked them, what's really gone wrong here? And what we found was we have a structural deficit in our tax system. Over a $3 billion shortfall will exist in this state through 2015 at a minimum. We can't tax our way out of it. We can't cut our way out of it. We can't grow our way out of it. We have to do some borrowing. We have to do some cutting, which we've done. And we have to do some growing, which we desperately need. But we also have to raise some new revenue. We can't do it without all four. And Prop 100 is the only chance we have as citizens to add revenue to the budget. Right now, there's no other choice. If you'd have asked SALC members whether a sales tax increase was their first choice, they probably would have said no. There's other taxes they'd have rather seen raised. But it's the only horse in the race. And it's critical that we pass it, because without it, the devastation will be very real to all of us. It's a temporary tax. It's 3 years long. It sunsets by law. It will fill specific needs that are already defined in the budget. So you hear people talk about, well, they'll take the money and do other things with it. Not true. It's already been allocated. If it fails, we'll have to cut those exact amounts from the budget. I want to talk a little bit more here in my final comments about what that study from McKinsey and Company said about our system here in Arizona. One of the most important things is we have a structural deficit that we have to address. Prop 100 must pass, but regardless of whether it does or it doesn't, we need to overhaul the tax system in this state because it's out of balance and it's out of whack. We've got to fix it because we don't have the revenue to match the need. We've got to find a way to do that. Second, inaction on this thing, if we don't do something, it's only going to make matters worse. None of the other competing ideas of how to fix this can do it by itself. We need to grow. Even with a 6% growth every year, which is really high growth for a state, we won't find our way out of this mess for years and years and years. And so it'll only get worse. So we have to find permanent answers to make this thing work. I think it also speaks loudly to how important this is when you look at the number of business groups that are standing in favor of Prop 100. The Tucson Chamber of Commerce is standing with us on this. The Arizona Chamber of Commerce is standing with us on this. And a very conservative tax group known as the Arizona Tax Research Association, ATRA, has also come out in favor of Prop 100. These are typically groups that don't always see new taxes as a positive thing. So I think that speaks pretty loudly to just how important we feel this is. And SALC not only has supported it, but we've invested considerable resources into the campaign. So we implore you to vote yes. We implore you to ask your neighbors to do the same. This is our state and our future. My daughter and my grandkids live here, and I want this place to be a good place for them to live and my grandkids to have good schooling. And if we don't fix this, we're going to face a very difficult stretch. So thank you.